Should DBD have voice chat, proximity chat, or global chat, or anything under the sun? Now, bear in mind, this is an opinionated video. I know some people, the moment they see an opinion they don't agree with, they don't like the person with the opinion. I get it. You have your own opinion. I have my own opinion. I'm more than happy to tell me in the comments below what you think of this. But again, let's chill. We all have different opinions. Personally think DBD would absolutely flourish with any type of voice chat. Prop Nights had it enabled. I really only see positives. There are some arguments of like, oh, well, the game's going to become a lot more toxic with voice chat, especially if you can talk to the other side. But I disagree. I do think voice chat isn't the factor in if a game's community is toxic to one another. And again, I have to keep using the word toxic. I don't like using it because anything nowadays is toxic. I think DBD would do really well with voice chat. It would become, the game would be much less stale. You could have nice back and forth banter with the opposite side. This was a big thing in Friday the 13th and games like last year. And it was one of my favorite things about those games as well, where you're chasing the killer or getting chased by the killer. And, you know, the other side would be role playing or have some banter, you know, as when they're playing as the killer. And that always was extremely fun to me because it was just messing around. And I don't see why that can't be the same case with DBD. And again, people keep saying, oh my God, DBD is the most toxic game community. Have you seen Overwatch? Have you seen League of Legends? Have you seen all these other game communities? DBD is not really a toxicity problem. I would say more of an entitlement problem. That's the main issue with the game. If you want to look at like the community, I don't think it's a toxicity thing. Teabagging is also a very, very small deal in the grand scheme of things. It's really not a big deal. Same with flashlight clicking. It could be a little bit annoying, but it is really just a goofy animation at the end of the day. And even back in the days of Halo and COD, this was hilarious. I played back then, teabagging your opponent on Halo and then talking a little bit of shit in voice chat was always hilarious to me because nobody took it seriously. When you put everybody on level ground and you have voice chat and all this and chat at the end of the game, nobody's going to take it seriously. People are going to use voice chat to talk a little bit of banter and get into the next game. But in DBD, when you have no tone and it's just text chat, a message can be taken 1,000 different ways because you don't have a voice and actual tone to tell how someone's saying something. So friendly banter from the opposite side could just be taken as like an attack on one's character in DBD, which is the issue of just using text chat because you can't really tell exactly what they're saying. There's no tone. You can't tell if someone's being playful, sarcastic, rude. You just can't tell. Many will say, again, it's going to make the game more toxic. I'll quit the game if they add proximity chat. Well, I imagine if Behavior chose to do proximity chat, global chat, I personally think they should do a team chat for DBD where you can talk to all the survivors, so it would eliminate the Swift argument, everyone's on level ground, and they should add a proximity chat for killer to survivor. This is exactly what they had in Friday the 13th, where you would have walkie-talkies in-game to talk to your other teammates across the map, and you would just talk in person to other survivors near you or the killer. And I thought this worked really well. Scott Jund made a tweet a day or so ago saying maybe it's insensitive, but when anyone in Elden Ring or DBD gets also triggered by teabagging and says they must have a pathetic life to do so as they overanalyze someone being a little shit for 4 seconds in a video game, I feel like they may be projecting a bit. And I completely understand this. I used to get very frustrated at teabagging in DBD because, again, like it was a different game compared to Halo back in the day, and my reasoning for it was it's a 1v4, so it's kind of like ganging up on one person as the killer. And I still don't do it myself. I still don't teabag because, again, what if, you know, someone might be having a bad day. But, you know, I do think this sentiment is right. It's just an animation. If people want to get a rise out of you, they're going to do anything to get a rise out of you, and it's just best to ignore it. Plus, if you let people get to you, then they're just going to keep doing it. The cycle will repeat. Again, I reiterate, back in the COD days, back in the Halo days, yeah, it was a much different community. All of it was all in good fun, and nobody really meant any harm then. You know, you would hear one kid enter the lobby with a squeaker voice, and the rest of the lobby would go, "Oh my god, it's just a kid, it's a squeaker," and you would get roasted if you were that kid. And I was that kid at one point. I know Cows made a video on how proximity chat would work, and I do recommend you go check that out. It is a very funny video. And with toxicity, it's in every game. I always think voice chat is kind of required in this day and age. New games like Valorant and Overwatch, they have voice chat, and they do have some problems with the community in voice chat. But the best way to deal with it is either ignore them or mute them. And that really is just all there is to it. If Behavior ever decided to go ahead and make voice chat in DBD, the best way to counter that, if you didn't like that, is mute the other side. Unless Behavior never added that option, which would be crazy. Toxicity is in every game. It just is at this point. It's in every single game. And if you take these games less seriously, just, you know, play for fun, then I don't think it would affect you as much. Games are just for fun. They're not supposed to be stress. So when someone does something to try to get under your skin, take it as friendly banter. And that's really all there is to it. I know I made an anti-tilt guide a month or so ago, and I still stand by that. People who do tilt often in DBD probably should go watch that. It's not fun to tilt in your favorite game. Trust me, I've been there. The game is now almost 6 years in the making. We don't have any new game modes. And I know this has been talked about sometimes before. But again, I do think that the discussion of this is healthy because it resurges the actual idea of it. And who knows, maybe Behavior will see this at some point. Chasing would be a lot more fun. Talking to teammates would be a lot more fun. People have the age-old argument of Swift OP, but hey, if everybody's on level terms, the killer will just always have to deal with a quote-unquote Swift if voice chat's in the game. You don't like your solo queue teammates being potatoes? Well, there you go. You have voice chat. You can say, hey, please get me on hook. Nobody else is coming for me. I see mostly pros, hardly any cons. And the only cons that I see is the quote unquote toxicity that could happen. If it does, one can just mute the other side. At the end of the day, it is good to just mute the other side if they are bothering you. Anyways, this is just my thoughts on the matter. I've been asked about this every now and then. And yeah, I think it would be awesome if they added proximity chat.